So the next set of pieces I'm going to work on are a cream and sugar set. And this is going to start from a different template. This is actually what the template looks like. What you're looking at right now is the bottom of the piece, and then these sides fold up. And I want to show you how I came about this template. One thing that this does for me is it creates a lot of process lines. So if I really want to accentuate how I made this piece, I'm able to do that with this type of template. So early on, when I had no idea how to make this, I would just start with either coiling or with some rough slabs, putting pieces together. And I'm just gonna put together roughly a cup. I knew in my head that I wanted to have these cut lines that kind of showed how this piece folded up, similar to working with sheet metal. So right now, this is just this really rough cup. And I do this a lot when I'm starting with a new idea, so I don't feel so attached to the piece and I can let myself really just play. I'll go ahead and work very quickly with the clay, not worrying about scale, not worrying about refining it, the cut edges. It's really just about form and creating that pattern. Just get this bottom on real quick. And it's similar to when I first started hand building and I was still using my wheel to throw some of the pieces, and then I would cut them in half. So just to give you an idea, so the sketch of this piece, the forms are the same or similar. One has a spout and one has a lid, but they're coming from the same type of cylinder. So what I'm working on right now is creating that cylinder. And I'm wanting this arcing bottom and to have this bottom incorporated in the whole piece, not adding a bottom. So the way that I came up with that is actually cutting this piece apart. And you might want to square it off and mark the top just a little bit. Again, these aren't to scale or proportion, but it gives you an idea. I'm cutting down those lines of how to think a little differently about form. Think of how can I create and have this bottom incorporated in this piece. If you can envision that as one slab, that's the real rough beginning place of this, okay? So now you want to tighten it up and get your proportions right. And I find that graph paper can help a lot on these forms because the bottom here is going to be the same diameter as this side. So if you just pick 6 by 6, that is your bottom right here. Say you want to go up 8. You're going to do that all the way around. This takes the ruler out of it in the beginning stages. And once you get this preliminary pattern, then you can easily go to your photocopy machine. You'll notice that my pattern is a little bit tapered here because I'm not interested in a form like this. I'm interested in being tapered ever so slightly. Here's a creamer right here. So it's got a little bit more of a taper, and you can see these are the folded up edges right here, and I'm really accentuating these process lines. So again, this is where the graph paper really comes into play. Go in one notch and just connect those right here. You do that on all 4 sides. Now there's no reason why you have to do 4s. You could do 6s and see what happens. You can round this and see what happens. You see if you would round this, when it came to meet, you would have more of a curve like this instead of straight up and down. So this would be a beginning to where I would then trace this onto construction paper and go from there.